Today's show is for you, Sarah. Sarah recently reached out to me with a question. Sarah has just been diagnosed with breast cancer. And Sarah found us and followed my journey through breast cancer treatment, and asked how she can continue to hike and continue to get outside and enjoy all of these beautiful outdoor spaces as she's going through breast cancer treatment. So as soon as you're diagnosed with breast cancer, you'll sit down with your oncology team and they will come up with a treatment plan for you. My treatment plan was surgery. I had a lumpectomy and some lymph node removal. Then from there, your oncology team will let you know if you need chemotherapy, radiation, and then the next steps, which for me, that's hormone treatment. And every day I take a little pill called tamoxifen. So even though I ended breast cancer treatment almost a year ago, I'm still taking steps to prevent cancer from recurring. So once you get on the breast cancer roller coaster, you never really get off. And that's just a sad fact of life. Now, Sarah, since you've been recently diagnosed, right now, I'm imagining what you're feeling because I felt it too. I imagine you're feeling really stressed out, really overwhelmed, really exhausted. You have to make a lot of decisions very quickly about your treatment options and where you're going to be treated. And I found after that diagnosis, it was almost like a full-time job on top of my full-time job, trying to figure out the next steps. And then once you're knee-deep in cancer treatment, it really is a full-time job. I mean, there's doctor's appointments several times a week, even every day when you're going through radiation. It's just a lot to process. With cancer, your life changes forever, but it doesn't mean that you have to stop hiking. In fact, you really should keep on hiking. And really, I'm answering a question about breast cancer today, but this could be a question about anything going on in your life that is difficult and challenging that may potentially keep you off the trails. So here are 3 things that you can do. Those are my kids. I thought it was wild turkeys. It is wild turkeys. Here are 3 things that you can do when a health condition like breast cancer may potentially keep you off the trail. First thing is to just take baby steps and to make sure that you take enough time to give yourself a lot of love and a lot of compassion because things are about to change. For me, that went from being really physically fit and active and strong and healthy to just considering it a small victory, a small success if I was able to take a walk around the block. When you're going through treatment, it's exhausting, you'll be sick, you won't be feeling very well, and so you have to celebrate all of those little baby steps that you're able to take. Even if that baby step is just pulling yourself out of bed to make it to the living room to watch more trash reality TV, that is a baby step that needs to be celebrated. Crawl before you can walk and walk before you run. You don't know how your body is going to respond to cancer treatment, and so it's okay to stop running and go back to crawling. The second thing you can do is adjust your gear. For me, this meant that last summer when I was in radiation after chemotherapy, when I was starting to hike again, I had to make some adjustments with my packing list and with my load and with what I was carrying when I was hiking. So for example, I couldn't carry a lot on my back. I was still really weak. I would get really exhausted really quickly. So my children actually put some of my extra gear in their backpacks. And they carried a little bit of mom's gear, and my husband carried a little bit of my gear. And I had to kind of put my pride aside and say, okay, these people love me and they want me to be outside and they want to be outside with me. So I'm going to put my pride aside and I'm going to let them carry the weight. The other thing I had to do was my lumpectomy was right on the right side of my breast, just underneath my armpit. And so it was right where my backpack straps would hit. So another thing that I did was instead of wearing a backpack, because through radiation, you know, there was a lot of burning and blistering, and so I didn't want anything rubbing against right where my boob was being zapped every day. And so I did not wear a backpack. I wore a ribs front pack, which kind of went this way instead of this way, and a fanny pack when I was hiking. And just because I wanted to protect that area. So if you're going through breast cancer treatment, if you have a mastectomy or if you have a lumpectomy, you just have to figure out, where are those scars? Where is my skin sensitive? And how can I still carry what I need to carry when I'm in the backcountry while protecting that area? A few other things that I did was I still suffer from really severe neuropathy. So that's damage to my nerves in my hands and in my feet from chemotherapy, from Taxol, which is the specific chemotherapy drug that I really struggled with. And so last winter, when I wanted to go cross-country skiing or backcountry skiing or downhill skiing with my family, my hands and my feet would just be so miserable. It would be very painful as we'd start our ski, and then about 20 minutes in, even if it wasn't that cold outside, my feet and my hands would just go numb, and it was miserable. And so I started to wear heated socks. I spent a lot of money on heated socks, and that helped keep my feet warm so they wouldn't go numb. And another thing that's been great is compression socks. So I wear compression socks almost every single day, and that also helps with my neuropathy, especially if I'm going to be out on the trails or on my feet all day long. So it's kind of a matter of just figuring out, like, you might have some limitations even after treatment ends, and figuring out how to just keep on going with those limitations and how to adapt and adjust so that you can still get outside and get onto the trails. The third thing that I have is giving yourself time to heal. Your body, when you have cancer, like, cancer is like this weird thing going on inside your body. So you have cancer, and then you have treatment for that cancer. Your body's literally going through hell. When you're going through chemotherapy, your healthy cells and your unhealthy cells are literally dying. Your body's going through so much. And I feel like I finished treatment, and then it was like, I just wanted to be back to normal. I just wanted to be back to normal mentally, physically, and I was not back to normal in any way, shape, or form. In fact, I'm still trying to find, like, my new normal. So give yourself some time. Just try to get your body moving every single day. If you don't feel like moving, maybe drive out to a beautiful space like this and just sit and just listen to the birds and just be. It's also important to set realistic goals and expectations. And I'm the kind of person who sets these really big, lofty goals and never really reaches them. In fact, if you follow my personal YouTube channel over at Rebecca Walsh, I have a video there that talks about a healthy way to set goals. So making sure those goals are really realistic and really kind and really gentle. I know that a cancer diagnosis feels like being punched in the face, because I've been punched in the face and I have had cancer. I promise that if you take baby steps, if you can find a way to adjust your gear, and then if you can give yourself time, you'll come out the other end and you'll realize what you've just been through, and you'll feel so proud, and you'll be excited about where the future is going to take you. Hey, if you have a question that you want me to answer here on our channel, go ahead. You can send an email over to hikelikeawoman@gmail.com. You can also head over to our website, hikelikeawoman.com, and click the Ask Me Anything button and just submit your question right on our site. Thanks so much. I'll see you out on the trails.